Welcome to Cultivate the Soul channel. If you're looking for inner peace, life inspiration, and a way to transform your life from within, then you're exactly where you need to be. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our latest videos on personal growth, healing, and living more consciously every day. Have you ever felt like you were alive, but not truly living? Have you ever asked yourself, why do I keep facing the same struggles? Why do some people seem to attract success effortlessly? Why do I try so hard, but nothing ever really changes? If you've ever asked questions like these, then the book, As a Man Thinketh, is like a mirror, one that reflects your inner world and helps you realize a life-altering truth. Your life is simply a reflection of the thoughts you nourish every single day. This timeless book was written by James Allen, an English writer and philosopher from the early 20th century. Though short, barely 30 pages, it's often considered the seed of the modern self-help movement, influencing millions of readers, including powerful leaders and thinkers across the world. James Allen doesn't promise magic. He doesn't talk about the law of attraction in mystical terms. Instead, he speaks about personal responsibility, about how you must learn to master your thoughts, because those very thoughts will, in turn, master your destiny. So stay with me for the next few minutes, because what you're about to hear might not just change the way you think. It might change the way you see yourself and the life that still lies ahead. Let's begin with the core idea of this entire book, a truth that James Allen considered the foundation of all human experience. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. It sounds simple, but the more you reflect on it, the more profound and even uncomfortable it becomes. Because what James Allen is telling us is this: you are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are not even what people say about you. You are your thoughts. And every single thing in your life, your habits, your career, your relationships, your health, your failures, your victories, they all began first in your mind. Think of your mind as a garden. Every thought is a seed. Some seeds are positive: hope, discipline, kindness, faith. Others are negative: fear, envy, laziness, resentment. The gardener, you, has a choice. You can choose to plant wisely, or you can neglect the garden, let weeds grow, and then wonder why life feels chaotic and out of control. Allen says, man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. This means you are the architect of your own life, and thought is your blueprint. Let's pause here. Most people don't want to believe this. It's easier to blame. My parents didn't support me. My boss is unfair. Life is hard. I was just unlucky. But here's the harsh truth Allen offers. You will never change your life until you take responsibility for the thoughts that created it. It's a tough pill to swallow, but also the most empowering one. Because if your thoughts built the life you're living now, then new thoughts can build a completely different one. Let me ask you this. What have you been thinking about lately, without even realizing it? What kind of seeds have you been planting in your mental garden? Because your future doesn't begin tomorrow. It begins the moment you take control of your thinking. James Allen doesn't claim change is easy, but he insists it's possible for anyone. He reminds us that the human mind is not fixed. It's not stuck. It's like a field, waiting for direction, waiting for discipline, waiting for care. And when you begin to master your thoughts, you don't just change your mood. You don't just feel a little better. You begin to change your destiny. James Allen once wrote, "Character is the complete sum of all our thoughts." At first glance, this may sound simple, but if you pause and reflect, you'll realize something profound. Who you are today is not because of your circumstances, not because of your upbringing, not because of fate. It is because of what you have thought, consistently, repeatedly, silently, every single day. Imagine that every thought is like a single drop of water. One drop does nothing, but day after day, drop by drop, falling in the same place, it can carve a hole through solid rock. That's exactly what thought does to your character. Every little idea you allow in, every belief you reinforce, every silent assumption you repeat, shapes your emotional habits, your reactions, your values. And in time, those become your character. If your thoughts are filled with kindness, discipline, and gratitude, you gradually become a calm, generous, and grounded person. But if your thoughts are full of envy, fear, anger, or resentment, you'll eventually become someone anxious, reactive, and hard to be around. Thought doesn't just stay in your head. It becomes who you are. A person who constantly doubts others slowly becomes cold and distant. Someone who repeatedly blames themselves will live in shame and avoid growth. But a person who consistently thinks with optimism and sincerity begins to radiate a presence that others feel, even without words. James Allen doesn't just want you to understand this, he wants you to reflect on yourself. Who am I? What parts of my character are being shaped by the thoughts I allow every day? No one becomes angry overnight. No one becomes patient or forgiving all at once. It all starts with thought. And here's something even more important. If thought shapes character, then character shapes how we respond to life. Two people face the same challenge. One reacts with rage, blame, and despair. The other responds with calm, perspective, and growth. The difference is not in what happened to them, but in the inner strength they've built beforehand, through thought. So if today you find yourself impatient, jealous, anxious, or constantly comparing, don't hate yourself for it. See it as a signal that it's time to change. If you want to change your character, begin by changing your thoughts. And to change your thoughts, you must become aware of them every single day. Who you are today is not who you have to be forever. Your character is not carved in stone, it is a draft. And every day, through new thoughts, you get the chance to rewrite it. Circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. Have you ever wondered, why do some people rise from poverty to become millionaires, leaders, or sources of inspiration, while others, born into comfort and opportunity, end up lost, bitter, or stuck in mediocrity? Why do some people turn pain into power, while others use pain as a lifelong excuse to give up? Whether you believe it or not, the answer lies not in the outside world, but in something much deeper. Their thoughts. Most of us grow up believing that life is a game of luck or injustice. That we suffer because we lacked support, lacked resources, lacked the right timing. But James Allen completely rejects this idea. He says, circumstances are the direct result of the thoughts we have consistently held within. It sounds harsh. It sounds unfair. But stop and think. A person who believes they're a victim, that life is unfair, how do they act? They become passive, bitter, avoid challenges, and wait for rescue. And slowly, their life becomes darker, smaller, exactly like they feared. On the other hand, someone who believes, I am responsible, I can change this. They seek knowledge. They ask for help. They take bold steps. And their circumstances begin to shift in the direction of their thoughts. Your thoughts are like a compass. They quietly guide the ship of your life, no matter how rough the waves. So don't be surprised if you wake up one day and realize you're living a life you never truly wanted. It might be you, without realizing, steered yourself there, slowly, daily, through repeated small, limiting, fearful thoughts. Don't believe it. Ask yourself, how many times have you turned down an opportunity because you thought, I'm not good enough? How many times did you stay silent because you feared rejection? How many dreams have you postponed because you kept thinking, it's not the right time? Those weren't circumstances holding you back. They were thoughts. James Allen writes, you cannot directly choose your circumstances, but you can choose your thoughts. And so indirectly, yet surely, shape your circumstances. So, if you're in a relationship that's draining you, if your job is crushing your spirit, if you feel stuck in a never-ending loop, then this is not the time to blame fate. This is the time to turn inward and ask yourself, honestly, what kind of thinking brought me here? Here's the good news. If your old thoughts helped create this life, then new thoughts can create a new one. No one is born destined for greatness or failure. All of us are writing the story of our lives, one thought at a time. And what you choose to think today will become the world you live in tomorrow. James Allen writes, the body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operations of the mind. Modern science has confirmed what James Allen already wrote over a century ago. Negative thoughts don't just make us feel bad, they make us sick. Stress leads to ulcers. Anger raises your blood pressure. Chronic anxiety can weaken your immune system, trigger insomnia, even lead to cancer. But Allen goes deeper than just symptoms. He says, the body is a direct reflection of the thoughts we nourish each day. Have you noticed? When you're joyful and inspired, your body feels light. You sleep well, your appetite returns, and energy flows through you naturally. But when you're drowning in worry or silently burning with resentment, your body begins to shut down. You feel heavy. You can't rest. And sooner or later, illness finds its way in. And here's the part we don't often see. These thoughts don't always scream. Sometimes they come like whispers, soft, daily, persistent. I'm not good enough. No one truly understands me. Life is just too hard. They seem small, harmless even. But over time, they erode your health from the inside out. Each thought sends chemical signals through your body. And if those thoughts are filled with fear, anger, guilt, or despair, your body responds as if it's under attack. Except this time, the attacker is your own mind. James Allen writes, thoughts of fear, hatred, doubt, and envy leave poisonous traces in the body. A fearful person walks with hesitation, tenses their muscles, and holds their breath. An angry person shows it in their voice, their jaw, their eyes. A constantly anxious person lives in fatigue, mental, emotional, physical. But here's the good news. Pure, peaceful, and loving thoughts can also heal. When you live with gratitude, forgiveness, and quiet trust that life will be okay, your mind begins to shift. And so does your chemistry. You sleep better. You breathe deeper. Your immune system strengthens. And yes, your skin glows, your smile returns, and you radiate presence. Think of someone in your life who carries that kind of energy. They walk into a room and you feel safe, calm, even if they don't say a word. That's what happens when someone has thought good thoughts long enough. Their body becomes a living expression of peace. So if you're sick or unwell right now, don't just reach for medicine. Also ask yourself, what thoughts have I been feeding my body? Have I been carrying resentment? Have I been drowning in worry or blame? Have I forgotten how to rest mentally? Healing often begins not with pills, but with cleansing the mind. And if you're healthy today, protect it. Not just with diet and exercise, but with kindness in your thoughts, gratitude in your heart, peace in your intentions. Because the body is always listening, and it writes down every thought, whether it heals or harms. Let me ask you something. Why is it that some people are born into poverty, without education or support, yet still rise to greatness? While others, who have wealth, degrees, connections, remain stagnant, or worse, spiral downward? The answer may seem simple, but it's everything. Thought. James Allen wrote, "Dreamers are not the saviors of the world, unless they also act. He who dreams and then works to bring that dream into reality, who weds purpose to effort, he alone makes his vision flash." He wasn't just talking about positive thinking. He was talking about focused thought, the kind anchored in clear goals, unyielding effort, and a mindset that refuses to be broken. It's the kind of thought that quietly, steadily reshapes a person's destiny. Directionless thought equals directionless life. Have you noticed? When your thoughts are scattered, when you don't truly know what you want, you're easily swept away by other people's opinions, the pressure of the moment, fear of failure, or the comfort of procrastination. You say you want to be successful, but you haven't defined what that looks like. You hope for change, but fear the discomfort it brings. And so, you stand still. You pour your energy into worry, comparison, excuses, instead of forward motion. But a person with clear, purpose-driven thought is like a ship with a compass in the storm. They may sail slowly, but they never drift aimlessly. They may get hit, but they never lose sight of the shore. People may doubt them, but they stay true to their inner vision. James Allen said it plainly. Thought is the guiding force behind every achievement. Without it, you only drift. You'll never build something great while entertaining thoughts that sabotage you. I want to start a business, but I'm probably not good enough. I want to find love, but maybe I'm not lovable. I want to change, but it's too hard, too late, too overwhelming. Can you hear the inner conflict? Those kinds of thoughts don't inspire movement, they paralyze it. But those who succeed are not people who never felt doubt. They are people who chose to stand firm in their vision, even when the world shook around them. They said, "I don't know yet, but I'll learn. I've failed, but I'll try again. I'm afraid, but I won't stop." James Allen reminds us, strong thought, a clear goal, and unwavering belief, this trio shapes all greatness. Results are never random. The universe doesn't hand out success randomly. There's no such thing as accidental greatness. There is only prepared thought meeting opportunity. Someone who has visualized their dream, worked on it in silence, built their skills in private, when the door opens, they're ready. But someone who hasn't prepared in their mind, even if luck knocks, they won't recognize it. Or worse, they'll lose it. One negative thought can kill a giant dream. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they allow weak, limiting thoughts to dominate their minds. They quit because someone criticized them. They stop because something went wrong once. What they don't see is this: it's not the world that holds them back. It's their own thoughts. The thoughts we permit shape the life we live. So, what can you do? 1. Define your purpose clearly in your mind. No fuzziness. No maybes. Write it down. Think about it daily. 2. Feed your mind with strong, intentional thoughts. Let every small step and effort be born from a clear mental commitment. 3. Guard your thoughts like the most valuable asset you own. Because as James Allen wrote, you cannot rise into greatness if your mind is ruled by confusion, laziness, or fear. Ask yourself, am I thinking like someone who's ready to rise? Or like someone still waiting for a miracle? Because success doesn't come from lucky breaks. It comes from a thought, nurtured with intention, aligned with action, and held firm through the storms. A man who does not know why he lives will always live in fatigue and confusion. James Allen. Have you ever sat quietly, alone, and truly asked yourself, why am I alive? Not, what job do I have? Not, how much money am I making? But the deeper, soul-shaking question, why do I exist? Why was I born into this moment, this life? James Allen believed that every human being is born with a purpose, a mission, and thought is the key to discovering it. But the truth is, most people live their entire lives without ever finding it. They chase the clock, try to live well by someone else's definition, and eventually, when all the noise fades, when the lights go out, they feel something inside them. Empty. You might have the house, the car, the job title. But if every morning you wake up and don't know why you're getting out of bed, if your work is just a duty, not a calling, then deep inside, something is slowly dying. Allen called it a life without awakening. A loop of repetition, exhaustion, and numbness. But when you discover your purpose, everything changes. When you begin to think with direction, everything around you starts to align differently. What once felt draining now becomes a tool for growth. What once broke you now strengthens your spine. Those you once blamed now reflect your own inner battles. James Allen said, when thought is anchored in purpose, a person becomes powerful, focused, and unshakable. You won't find it on Google. It won't be gifted by social media. It won't come from copying someone else's success. It comes from within. From you. From daring to look inside. to listen to that quiet, fragile, but truthful voice inside you, whispering, "Who do I truly want to help? What sets my soul on fire? What small gift can I offer the world, even if it seems insignificant?" Once you discover a genuine why, you no longer live just to survive. You live to fulfill a mission. You don't chase success. You become a person of inner value. You no longer fear failure, because every setback is part of the journey back to your truest self. Are you ready to ask yourself again, why am I here? What is my mind focused on every day? Am I using my thoughts to build a life worth living, or just to get through another day? If you don't have the answer yet, it's okay. All it takes is to begin with one honest question. And every thought you plant after that will be a step on the journey back to yourself. James Allen wrote, "He who thinks with purpose is the victor of life, not drifting with the tide, but steering his own ship toward the light." A man is not defeated by circumstances, but by the way he thinks about them. James Allen. How many times have you said to yourself, "I was born at a disadvantage. I have no choice in life. I'm not successful because of my parents, my past, society"? These thoughts might sound reasonable. They may even bring temporary relief, making you feel less pressured. But they also steal away the greatest power you've ever been given: the power to choose what you think. James Allen never claimed that you can control everything that happens in life. You can't control who leaves you, who betrays you, or which hardships life throws your way. But you can always control how you think. And that one power decides who you become after each failure, and where you'll go after each fall. If you believe you're powerless, you will act like someone with no power. If you believe you're unworthy, you'll tolerate toxic relationships. If you believe nothing can change, you'll stay stuck, watching others live the life you once dreamed of. James Allen wrote, "Men do not rise by chance. They rise by lifting their thoughts and acting with quiet persistence. Each thought is a seed. What are you planting today? Seeds of blame, resentment, and fear? Or seeds of responsibility, hope, and transformation? You can't expect roses if you're sowing thorns. You can't live a peaceful life if your mind is filled with constant anger and worry. Stop blaming. Stop delaying. Stop waiting for someone to come save you. There is no savior out there. There's no miracle coming unless you decide to take control of your own thoughts. Build the house of your mind with bricks of truth, cement of will, and a roof of unshakable faith." James Allen. The book As a Man Thinketh doesn't teach you how to be perfect. It invites you to look within, to discover that your destiny has always been written by the thoughts you choose each day. You don't need to change the world. Just start by changing what you choose to think about when you wake up tomorrow. Ask yourself, what thought will I plant today for my future self? Will I be a victim or the creator of my life? Final reminder, you were not born to be controlled, you were born to take control. You are the one at the wheel. You are the designer of the road ahead. And your destiny, it's not in anyone else's hands. It lives in the thoughts you choose today. And so, we've come to the end of our journey through As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, a small book in size, but immense in power. powerful enough to shift a mindset, transform a heart, or even quietly change the course of a life. Maybe you won't remember every line, but if there's one truth you carry with you, let it be this: you are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of the thoughts you choose to feed every single day. No matter where you are, no matter what you've been through, you can begin again. You can rebuild, reshape, renew, if you choose to think differently about yourself and your life. This book doesn't promise you riches. It doesn't hand you a miracle formula. But it gives you something even greater: responsibility. Responsibility for your own mind. Responsibility for your own future. Responsibility for the person you are becoming, moment by moment, thought by thought. And that is real power. Not external power, but inner power. The power to rewrite your story, starting with one single thought. Thank you for staying with me all the way through. If something in this video made you pause, reflect, or awaken, then maybe, just maybe, you're ready. Ready for a new chapter, a new journey, a return to your truest self, where all lasting change begins. Hit subscribe if you want to keep walking this path of self-mastery, clarity, and inner growth. And please leave a comment below, because your voice is a valuable part of this growing community. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, your life begins with the thoughts you choose today.